to the Jose Aliaga Show, where we interview fascinating people from the Clarkston and the greater Detroit area. Thank you for joining us. Today our guest is John Dalton, Human Relations Commissioner for Livonia, Michigan. John is the Republican nominee for White County Executive. Back in August, he won a three-way primary to gain the GOP nomination, and he is now going head-to-head against a Democrat candidate, Warren Evans. John, thank you for coming, and it's an honor and privilege to have you here in Clarkston and on my TV show. This is a great show, as you know.
Yep.
And I have many questions for you. The first question is, what made you decide to run for Wayne County Executive?
Well, I was tired of the culture of corruption in Wayne County, and I think a lot of the citizens in Wayne County are too. It's evident even in the Democrat primary, where incumbent Bob Ficano lost his primary to regain the nomination to hopefully retake that office, but he unfortunately lost that. Fortunate for us, of course, because we don't really like him. But it shows that the people of Wayne County are tired of the same old story of corruption, and it's time for a fresh new face.
Let me ask you this. How many votes Ficano got in the primary?
Well, Ficano got roughly about 7,000 to 8,000 votes.
Oh, really?
And
how many you got you?
And I got roughly 15,000.
Oh, wow.
So
you got more.
There are two different primaries, but I think it says a lot that I was able to gain so many votes and he was not able to gain even 10,000. And I mean, he almost came in, almost last place of the front runners.
Yeah, but I mean, he spent a lot of money. I remember ads on TV. He saw so many advertising. He did fundraiser and raised the money. And
that's correct.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Wayne County went through a lot lately with that.
Oh yeah, and it was a huge upset. I know one of the front runners was Bill Wild for the Democrat side, and he also, obviously, he didn't gain the nominations for the Democrats. And in my race, I had including me, three candidates. I won amongst those with 44%. I think 43% was the end result. I need to double check on those, though.
Okay, so how old are you?
I'm 23 years old.
23, and you won a primary, which is...
Yes.
And how many people ran? Well, 3 people were running, right?
Correct.
Wow.
23. And,
And you serve in Livonia as a...
Human Relations Commissioner. I was appointed back in 2012 by Livonia Mayor Jack Kirksey. And I was appointed by him. The Livonia Human Relations Commission is made up of a variety of different people. And we deal with civil rights issues, and we also put on events to help put on awareness regarding whether it be issues like human trafficking, which is one issue we've been tackling recently, and down to doing an event, to help promote MLK's, Martin Luther King's values to the Livonia community, and any other community who's willing to be involved with, getting the, civil rights and the the signs of equality out into the public.
I see. So, okay, do you have a college degree or?
No, I don't. I'm actually in school, and if I win, I plan to obviously continue, probably in online classes because it's a very busy job, but I definitely plan to continue my education through the election.
I see. How do you plan to win over votes from the Democrat Party? Wayne County is, as we know, is very Democrat for many years, and I believe it's going to be a challenge for a Republican nominee to win.
It absolutely will be a challenge. This is technically the first time we actually have a candidate that's actually trying, which is, of course, me, for the Republican Party nomination, and as well as running for the actual position in November. And what we need to run on and what we need to focus on are issues that are affecting people. Things like, as I've been explaining earlier, corruption needs to end and needs to stop now. But also we need to get the fiscal house in order in Wayne County. It's a huge issue, and in some ways the fiscal crisis is in some ways worse than Detroit, because obviously Wayne County is larger than a city. It entails multiple cities. And we need to get that down. We need to get a balanced budget. We need to get things back on the road to prosperity in Wayne County. I mean, we have Detroit, one of the the largest city in Michigan, but also it's an important city to our country as well as to the world because of the automotive industry.
Wayne County is in the middle of huge financial crisis. What are some solutions that you will offer?
Well, some solutions that we can offer the people of Wayne County are solutions. Well, for the first issue we have to tackle is the corruption in Wayne County before we gain the trust back. But to tackle the financial crisis, we need to do things like switching younger workers and those who are new workers to the county to a 401k plan. Right now they're on a pension plan and it's outdated, it's underfunded, and when they decide to retire, there isn't any money to give them when they retire. I mean, it's terrible. And so that's probably one of the main things that we need to do, as well as cut waste and find ways that we can cut down on appointed positions that are paid for the political cronies of the current administration.
Give me other specifics that the county has and how you will address it. How will you approach those issues?
Well, approaching those issues is, well, first you have to look at, the county budget. You have to look at where the money's going. That's what the first thing we need to do. And when you do that, you can weed out not just corruption, but you can weed out waste, and you can weed out things that money does not need to be spent on. We're not talking about cutting, road funding. We're not talking about cutting funding from vital things. We're talking about cutting funding to things that completely don't affect people.
I see. Now, do you think the Democrats is gonna be attacking you based on that because a lot of people want to ask this, that your age and they're gonna say, well, this guy doesn't have a college degree and that he's 23. Right. How you feel about that?
Well, I think it's fine. Go ahead, let them attack me on it. I'm young, and if you want to look at my record, which, yeah, I'm young, I don't have much of a record to go off of, but I've been appointed to the Livonia Human Relations Commission. I've been involved in various committees throughout the Republican Party, and I know how to make decisions. I know how to come to conclusions, and I know how to come to solutions. And my opponent, Warren Evans, is simply just more of the same. He's been there for 30 years, just like the current incumbent, Bob Ficano, who's been there for 30 years. And he, for some reason, can't seem to maintain any of the positions that he's held. I mean, he resigned as undersheriff of Wayne County, he resigned as sheriff of Wayne County, then he was forcibly resigned as Detroit police chief. I mean, what do we expect? Is county executive is going to run off and go do something else? I mean,
so you're saying he resigned 3 times in 3 different elected positions? Is what you're saying?
Well, some appointed, but yes.
Oh, interesting.
And you can't depend on somebody who is going to walk off the job suddenly.
I see. Now, is the Republican Party helping you with any, advice, fundraisers, volunteers?
Well, definitely. There's the victory centers, which Governor Schneider and all the Republican ticket are going to have able to use, and I also will have access to using those facilities as well for fundraisers or having a election party or something like that. The party right now, usually when it comes to races that are not statewide, like like governor, Senate, things like that, they don't fund it immediately. Usually you wait until October, a little closer to the election, when an influx of money is the most help.
I see. Oakland County and Wayne County have had a rocky past. Would you do anything to improve the relations with Oakland County? Well,
absolutely. That's one of the solutions that we need to come to, is communicate better with Oakland County. And as county executive, if I'm elected, I plan on absolutely working on a lot of issues along with Oakland County and using some of Oakland County's ideas to improve Wayne County, because Wayne County under L. Brooks Patterson's leadership has done extremely well.
Absolutely. Give me some specification what you will do. It's so many things and so many relations we have between both counties.
Yes. Are you talking about relations between the 2 counties, how we can improve specifics?
Yeah, for example, dimensionality or some other things that give me
examples. Like a great example would be the Detroit Water Authority. Detroit has full control of it, which it's fine, but the communities that are serving that are in the suburbs, and not just in Wayne County, but obviously here in Oakland County where we are, and we need to make sure that there's regional cooperation when it comes to water rates and providing people a good service. I mean, the Detroit water system is in complete disarray, it's in disrepair. We need to make sure they have the money and funding to keep up good water quality standards. And by regionalizing, and that means allowing Oakland County to have a seat at the table as well, we can get that funding to the water department and make sure that all the needs are met for the water department.
I see. Now, when you get elected, would you push the agenda or support environmentally, which is something that Oakland County and Wayne County, and I believe also Macomb,
I think, yes.
They work together, you know?
Yep, absolutely. We need to continue with Automation Alley. And we also need to, in Wayne County specifically, increase investment and make sure companies are, continue to come, not leave, and make sure we're competitive with other parts of the state as well as other states around us, like Ohio, that may potentially, give them a tax break and take jobs away from our county or from our state. We need to be competitive and make sure we keep these jobs and bring more.
I see. So, yeah, it's a good point, because I see how other, we compete just with other counties, we compete with other states.
Yes.
Like Ohio and Indiana, they always lower taxes, or they do some policies, they put in place policies that investors from Michigan decide to move there because these people want to make more revenues.
Absolutely.
But when we close a manufacturer here and move to other state, what happens is increasing employment here in Michigan.
Exactly.
And we need our leadership to put some policies in place to compete with them and keep our business and attract more businesses here.
Yes.
So what you're saying is basically what actually will bring something. But give me more specifics. I mean, what is the areas that you will bring jobs, for example?
Well, we need to, Detroit's the economic powerhouse, or at least it used to be, an economic powerhouse of the world. And we need to make sure we use Detroit to our advantage. It's in Wayne County, and if we don't do that, we're not going to be there's no real solutions that we can come to bring more jobs. And if we can promote Detroit as the business center of Michigan, Grand Rapids has done a great job with that, and as well as Oakland County, there's a lot of companies that are located, Chrysler and various other major corporations. But if we are able to use Detroit and make sure we can get jobs in Detroit, make people in Detroit and in the Detroit metropolitan area be hired there, not people from out of state that come in and work there and not employ our people, it'll be a benefit to not just Wayne County, but to Oakland County as well.
I see. So how is your feeling about, now is also, you're going for November election.
Yes.
How is your feeling in Wayne County? How you think Governor Snyder is, what is your feeling about his campaign?
I think that Governor Schneider has been doing a great job here in the state. I know that his decision, at least in Detroit, hasn't been popular to have the emergency financial manager there, but I think ultimately we're going to be in a better position after Kevin Orr leaves. Wayne County is in a worse situation than Detroit in some ways, because obviously a county entails more than just one city. And to be frank, we are directly on the path to getting an emergency financial manager. And if we don't get our books in order and make sure we have a balanced budget and reduce the deficit and make sure that money isn't being wasted, we are absolutely on the road to getting an EFM maybe even next year. So change needs to happen immediately.
I see. Now, here is one of the biggest concerns people living in the suburbs are asking about. What is going to happen with the Detroit Water Department and with water rates? What are your plans concerning this very important issue? Because it is important for both, for everybody.
As I said before, we need to regionalize the Detroit Water Department, because right now there isn't enough money to do the repairs and fix the things that are needed to the water department to provide quality service to the suburbs, and we end up with higher water rates to local communities, and as I said, not just in Wayne County but in Oakland County too. And by regionalizing and allowing the suburban communities as well as communities here in Oakland County a seat at the table, we can come to solutions to make sure it's well funded and have a good quality water system for our area.
Good. Okay, I wish you the best in your race for Wayne County Executive. It was great having you on the show today, John. If you want more information at John Dalton Candiesi for Wayne County Executive, here is his contact, Facebook, and we have also his email, johndaltongop@gmail.com. Also, if anyone wants to be a guest on this show, give us a call at 248-736-7163. And plus, don't forget to add us on Facebook. And Dios te bendiga, which means God bless you. See you next time.